Hey everyone, so moving ahead with the demo series, this video I am going to explain you about profiles. Profiles play a very important role in real-time application when we are deploying our application in different environments. So topics to be covered under this is we are going to see how we can add the profiles to jump between the different environments. I'm going to explain you the best practices with profiles, and I'm going to explain you two ways for profiles. We can manage the profile in a single file, that we have application.properties or application.yml, and we can maintain multiple such file which are profile specific. So how to do it each of these, let me explain you in the example. So here it is, our product application, product microservices that we are developing. This is the application ML and this is the build.gradle. You are very much aware about this, what these configuration are so far. Okay, so first thing first, let me create a profile specific file first. So this is the application name, that should be, and hyphen, it should be name of the profile. So for the profile, I am considering different environments that we have. So for example, I'm saying here that it is uh, dev environment that I'm going to consider. After creating this profile specific file, first question appear, how many configurations that we can mention it. So we can mention all the configuration that we have mentioned in the main application.yml, and on top of that we can mention additional properties for which are very specific to this profile itself. So for example, let's say in the local environment I want to run it on this port, server port, and in the application depth YAML, based on the availability of the port, I want to use some different port, say 9092. This port I want to use, and also to understand that whether this overriding is taking place or not, I also want to change the name of the application. Okay, so how we can do that? So application name, I can say product microservice in dev environment. Okay, so these are the two things that we have overridden here, and also we can put these thing product currencies that we have, just copy it and paste it here, and whatever I want to modify it, I can modify. So for example, in the dev environment I want to put only one currency, so it is going to keep only one currency here, right? So then after writing all the properties here, I want to see how we are going to activate it. Is it that application is going to pick it automatically? So no, we have to activate it, and for that we have one configuration here, spring dot profiles, and under this activate, not this one but this active, and here I have to mention which profiles are active. So means I am saying here that dev profile is active, so it is going to look for application hyphen dev, this file. Let me start the application and show you the console how it is working. So by default, it was supposed to run on the port 9091. It is going to load this application YAML and going to see that it is dev profile is active. So it is going to look for the application dev. When it is found, it is going to see that server port is 9092. So it is going to run the application on this port 9092, not this one that we have mentioned 9091. So if I show you here, it is running on 9092 port, and if at top of the console you see, it is saying that the following profiles are active, so dev, right? And the next thing, there can be one important questions arises here, if you have mentioned profiles active which are not present, like if it is dev is we are mentioning it here that active profile is dev, so it is going to look for this file. It found that and loaded that one. And what if I mention some profile here, I try to activate some profiles here which doesn't exist in the system. So what is going to happen in that case, right? So let's see that. Let's see the behavior and I'll explain you why. Yes, at the top of the console, it is saying that following profiles are active, dev 1, and at the bottom I'm seeing that 909. So application is started properly with the default configuration that we have here. All right, so even if we can by mistake, if we are trying to activate the profile which doesn't exist, so it is going to live with the default configuration that we have. It is not going to fail the application. So this is the important question that you can keep in mind. Okay, so now coming to the next one. So this we have only one application hyphen dev profile. We can maintain multiple such profiles, right? So I can maintain one more here, like I can maintain test profile here, prod profile here, anything that I want. So in the test I can say that it is in test environment. I can maintain it 9093 port, and here I can change the currencies here as well. Now let's activate this test profile and start the application and see if it is working or not. So activating this profile here under test, mentioning it under active profile, and restarting the application, right? So coming here, so profile test is active here, and I can say that it is now running on 9093 port. And one more thing, we can mention multiple profiles here. So as many profiles as we have as per the requirement, we can mention that. If I restart it, now we have these two profiles mentioned here. So how the properties are going to take precedence here? So whatever is mentioned at the last, so it is mentioned dev here, so dev is going to take precedence, so application will be running on 9092. So you can see here test and dev is active, and if I see here, it is running on 9092 port. So this is the one example about maintaining the multiple profile specific files. There is one more, like if you have to configure only 2 or 3 profiles here, only you have to override only 2-3 properties small, and you do not want to make new file. For that, there is one more way. Within the main application file you have, you can maintain that one. So come to the bottom of the page here and put 3 dashes here. It is going to start a new document. It is going to consider it as a new file. So here I can start writing new properties for us. So server port here I want to maintain, for example, say I want to say that it is going to run on port 9094. Okay, just for an example. And here how the next question comes, how to activate this. So for that we have a spring config here and activate on profile. So here I have to mention, you can say it is kind of naming this profile, whatever we are going to mention here. So let's say we are going to say that prod. Okay, and so now we have this single file, but it has 2 documents. First these one, and then other is bottom of this one. And if I want to maintain more here in this same file here, I can come down here and coming here and putting 3 dots again. The IDE itself going to say that it is the starting of the 3rd document, right? So I just want to maintain 2 files here, and I want to say that prod is active. So it is kind of 3rd file that we have maintained. And the same thing I can say, how to activate this same way. I can say that we have one more profile, that is prod active. So if I restart the application, it is going to say that all 3 profiles are active. Test dev prod. Okay, and coming at bottom, it is saying that it is running on port 9092. Here is one more catch. Even if you have mentioned this at the end, prod. So theoretically, whatever mentioned at the end should have been activated. So here we have given the port 9094, but it is still running on 9092 property because the precedence is of other file that you have mentioned. You have mentioned it dev here, right? So it is going to take precedence. So how to activate this? So when you have only this prod here, so it is going to make sense here. Okay, so when respective, like comparative analysis also should be taken care here, right? So here application is running on port 9094, whatever we have mentioned here. So that's it. So here I wanted to explain 2 ways to maintain the 2 ways to configure the profiles and how we can maintain it. So if we move ahead in the series, it is going to make more sense when we have multiple services and we are going to make multiple configurations. So we will come to this point again and again in the series. Okay. So now the next point, what is the best way, to activate this line here, that profiles active? So you can say always I am changing this application.yaml file, right? So I'm saying that this profile is active and load this one. So it means I have to change the code all the time that I want to change the profiles. But I have one solution here. So I do not have to change this file again and again. So if you remember the previous video, we executed our application in this way, right? Java-jar, and then we maintained spring config dot maintain one additional profile here, additional location. Okay, and then we mentioned here, so here we have one more file, that this application YAML, where we overridden the product.currencies, and here I can mention which profile to activate. So it is outside the application, right? We do not have to do any code changes, right? I can say that here spring profiles active, and which profile to mention, dev, test, prod, whatever I want to maintain here, I can mention it here. So let me show you this. Okay, so first I have to create the jar out of this one. So first do it. So just remove this one. So I have made some code changes, so I have to create this artifact again. So for that I have to run this gradle build command again, so that we can get the artifact. Yes, now we have that cd build lives and java -jar, mentioning this one, and spring dot config additional location, and here I have to mention this file. So copy path here. Okay, paste it here, application YAML, right? So this profile, so I have activated here test profile here, right? So we should see the console which says that a test profile is active. Coming up, so the following profiles are active. It is saying that test profile is active, and under test profile, what we have here, 9093 port, right? So there is this way that I can say that particular profile is active, and as well as I can mention all the configuration directly that I want to configure here. So now we have choice which way to go, right? So we can choose among that. So that's end of the video. Before leaving this video, I want to leave you with the references, with some references that you can go ahead and check out more about profiles. So if you come here, so this is the official documentation of the spring profile. So there are multiple ways to do things, and these are kind of that you should know, right? So I'll give the direct link in the description box as well, so that you can go ahead and check out this directly. So you check this adding active profiles, I have explained you. And there is one more concept of profile groups. If you want to maintain multiple profiles, like they have mentioned here, prod db, prod mq, and how are you going to activate it? So this is the main configuration, spring profiles and group, and here you are going to name the group under which you want to mention multiple profiles. So we have one group named production, and under this I want to activate prod db and prod mq. All right, and when I'm going to activate it, I'm going to say that spring profiles dot active production, and it is going to activate this prod db and prod mq automatically. And one more thing, you can check out other section here, setting profiles, and this one, that's sufficient for this. And there is one more thing, there is one recent change in the version 2.4 about the profiles. activation. You can go ahead. This is very simple document and very easy to read. If you go through the examples here, some of the things I have explained in the video itself. And last and final thing, I want to suggest one thing. There was one video about profiles that I had created a year back. So this one, okay. So this one I created. This has information about profiles, very detailed information. On top of that, what we have explained, if you want to see the all other examples, right? Any you want to explore some other examples about profile, you can go ahead and check out this. I'll give this direct link in the description box itself. So that's all about this video. Next video, I'm going to explain you about how we can log the log like we are requesting something, right? So we have multiple endpoints. So how to log the request and response at one place. So then if I show you this document, what importance it holds. So we have this controller here, right? So we have multiple endpoints. This endpoint is taking some input, some request it is taking, and it is responding with something to user. And the same thing is happening with all other endpoints. So for debugging purposes, I should know that what request is coming and what response is being sent to the user. So that logging I have not done it itself in all the endpoints here, but we have to do, and that is cumbersome to do. That is why I have looked for one option that we can do this at one place using the filters, and that thing I'm going to explain in the next video. That is very important and you must check out that one. So I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care, stay safe, bye bye.